So Matt, can you tell us about TF Accountants?
So TF Accountants, we set up a little over 4.5 years ago as a small boutique accounting practice based in Richmond. We're tax advisors, business advisors, accountants, and recently gone into the mortgage broking space as well. My business partner David and myself started the practice on our own in a small office in Kew before going to Richmond. Richmond quickly grew into about 10 to 12 of us, and then we moved into the city, and we've recently employed another few as well. So there was no acquisition of fees or anything like that, and we just all of a sudden just grew and grew and grew, and I think the culture has helped a lot with that as well. We're quite a young firm, which sort of helps the guys like going out for drinks and those sort of things, and it's a nice place to be. Old school analogue phone systems are painful, they're expensive, and the ability for us to take our phones wherever we want and have the same number was actually really important. The ability for our staff or myself to literally take my phone and plug it in at home and still be able to dial into a network is a pretty good benefit. Moving anything around the office, and it's literally through the internet, it makes life easy. It was cost effective in terms of calls, and the quality was still good, so it was a bit of a no-brainer not to do that.
You previously worked with another hosted PBX provider before joining Alltel. Can you tell us about that experience?
So we had a provider that really didn't take the time to understand our business and didn't really care that the system didn't work. A lot of other providers actually just pointed the finger and said, "No, it's your internet," or whatnot. And so we had call dropouts a lot. And while the prices were good, what good is a phone that you can't actually make calls on? And it was quite damaging to our business, actually, having call dropouts and whatnot. Forced us to use our mobile phones a lot more rather than actually going through the office phones. So we made the choice to actually move to Alltel, where we could actually combine our internet and phone into one. Previous provider didn't really take a lot of time. They literally gave us some numbers, some phones, and sort of a set and forget type thing. Troubleshooting was a little bit of an issue. We had to do a lot of it ourselves, whereas with Alltel we had the ability to literally pick up the phone and one of the technicians would come out and resolve any issues that we had, and including in the setup, literally coming out on a day, testing everything, a couple of days later came out and retested just to make sure there were no issues and whatnot. It gave us a lot of satisfaction and a lot of, comfort in that the system was set up properly and it worked. Probably the ability to just increase the amount of phones that we've got on a system and move people around without any issues. It's something where transferring calls internally just makes it nice and easy, whereas a lot harder with an old school analog system. Whereas just having it in-house and having it all through the internet, it makes life easy. So we have, there's a couple, voice to email is great for when you're not in the office. A lot of us aren't in the office that often, so the ability for those voicemails to go directly to an email, we check them on our mobile phones, and actually making those calls while we're out of the office is a really handy solution. Same with sort of fax to email, all those sort of fax, and it doesn't really happen too much these days, but faxes going directly to email. And also having the switch at the front as well, the ability to transfer calls. We've got another number of businesses that operate within the one premises. The ability for those numbers to go directly through one phone and can be transferred anywhere within the office is really handy, not just for us but for all the businesses within the premises.
And as a growing business, what role does Alltel play in achieving your business goals?
Without Alltel and a solid internet and phone service, we don't have the ability to grow as well and as quickly as we need. The ability for our clients to pick up the phone and ask us questions without dropouts is really important. Without that, it damages our brand. Clients want to be able to get us when they need us, and without that phone we can't do that. So without that, we can't achieve what we need to achieve, and we can't grow the way we want to grow. Simple as that.